1849, workers excavating the ash-choked ruins of Nineveh pulled an impossible black clay tablet from a sealed bitumen vessel. This was tablet K2486A, a text the British Museum quietly scrubbed from public catalogues in 1903. What if your deepest exhaustion isn't a medical condition, but a calculated extraction? By the time this chronicle ends, you will identify the precise entity draining your life right now. Look at your left arm. Did an unexplained bruise appear overnight? Imagine a stone chamber where the air drops 20 degrees the moment a single artifact is uncovered. In his private journals from that 1849 excavation, archaeologist Austin Henry Layard confessed that an unnatural, windless chill paralyzed his team when they broke the vessel's seal. This object wasn't a standard royal decree or trade ledger. It was a dense, 8-inch field guide detailing 12 apex entities that harvest human vitality. The scribes packed this forbidden taxonomy onto a single black stone. The ancient authorities refused to fragment this sequence because separating the names broke the warning system. When you realize this artifact was deliberately hidden in a wall niche away from the Grand Library of Ashurbanipal, the academic panic becomes clear. Study the historical landscape to understand why early civilizations prioritized hiding this classification over saving their own empires. Surprising archival records show that translating this specific artifact carries a definitive terminal cost. 3 independent scholars cracked the cuneiform code between 1889 and 1902, but the third analyst's identity was completely erased. Your living space is compromised. The scribes noted that a galu cannot be exorcised. The occupants must abandon the physical structure permanently. Vacate any newly constructed building that exhibits persistent structural odors before your family relationships decay. The complete operational decoding of these 12 extractions, including the specific celestial timelines, requires a deep reading of the primary documentation. You can access the complete verified breakdown by securing the analytical brief linked below. Let us advance to the engineered choices. How many of your major life decisions were actually generated by an external predator? The Utuku operates as a tracking hound for senior entities, embedding itself within your psychological blind spots during moments of intense vulnerability. The text states a precise ratio. Exactly 1 Utuku operates for every 800 humans in concentrated population centers. Your most profound insights might be bait from a predator. When an effortless solution randomly appears during a career transition, completely erased from institutional files. Records confirm this anonymous linguist abruptly resigned his university post in 1903, retreated to Yorkshire, and ordered his wife to burn his research before his death. True knowledge of these entities demands total isolation from society. The institutional campaign to classify K2486A as a simple religious fragment directly correlates with his disappearance. You are dealing with an intentional system of censorship designed to keep the livestock unaware of the rancher. Reject the corporate historical narrative and examine the structural taxonomy the ancients left behind. Ancient survival manuals do not treat the supernatural as an abstract concept. They catalog it like a pathogen. Modern medical units remain entirely baffled by chronic fatigue syndrome, yet the entry for the Lilu outlines this exact cellular drain. The cuneiform defines this 12th-tier parasite as a localized atmospheric chill that extracts your breathing essence while you sleep. A Lilu takes only what your biology can naturally regenerate. If you wake up completely hollow despite getting 8 hours of rest, the extraction occurred at midnight. The text explicitly dictates using a physical barrier of barley grains to disrupt their feeding loop. Track your bedroom's localized temperature drops tonight to determine if an extraction is actively. A dark archive of medieval folklore reveals that spatial predators don't just target bodies, they compromise entire physical structures. The Galu attaches itself directly to domestic foundations, consuming the emotional warmth between romantic partners. Simultaneously, the crouching Rabisu stations itself at thresholds and doorways, extracting the physical paralysis of human hesitation. Infested homes slowly empty because human bonds are systematically consumed. When you experience unprovoked family arguments alongside a sour corner by design, the ninth-tier Mushmahu is a multi-headed entity that consumes the directional will of entire municipalities. When an entire population stops expecting their leaders to fix systemic infrastructure problems, a Mushmahu infestation is nearing completion. Communities under this influence make decisions that destroy their own children. This societal decay operates across generations, moving silently through family bloodlines via the Edemu residue. You see families plagued by recurring tragedies because an ancestral debt is still being extracted. Document your family's historical medical anomalies to isolate where the generational line was breached. The cosmic tier of extraction does not rely on simple biological weakness. It targets your awareness. The second-ranked Anzu arrives from deep space coordinates where stars are explicitly recorded as physical transit vessels. It extracts a human attribute so complex the scribes could only draw it as two concentric circles joined by three intersecting lines. An Anzu extraction leaves you structurally hollow but superficially normal. You can only identify this extraction by comparing your current personality with your disposition 5 years ago. Audit your personal transformation records to check for uncharacteristic emotional flattening. The apex entry of tablet K2486A contains no name, only a heavily incised redaction box. This ultimate entity does not feed on humans directly. It consumes the act of feeding itself, maintaining the lesser parasites as a livestock management tool. It diverts human attention through engineered conflicts, global panics, and digital distractions whenever our species looks toward the stars. To say its name aloud is to invite immediate extraction. Astronomical mapping confirms the alignment patterns carved into the stone cycle precisely once every 26,000 years. The countdown initiated during Sumer's rise concludes inside our current generation's window. Break the distraction cycle immediately and fix your attention on the sky. The ancient Sumerian cuneiform taxonomy is not a series of primitive campfire stories. It is a definitive structural countdown concluding in our lifetime. The physical markers are already reappearing across global financial and medical sectors. Track the next video in our library, detailing the deep space coordinates of the 7 planetary gates. Not professional advice. Consult a qualified expert as needed. Being directed toward a slaughterhouse. Hit the threshold of 3 guided decisions per calendar year, and the entity secures permanent access to your subconscious mind. Interrogate every sudden instinct that simplifies a hard choice this week. Direct clinical evidence shows that certain biological entities target the vulnerable before they can form defenses. The off-world Lamashtu descends from coordinates beyond the 7 planetary gates, marking pregnant mothers with 3 distinct abdominal bruises arranged in a triangle. Meanwhile, the Asaku acts as a thinking sickness, mutating standard infections into lifelong autoimmune suffering. The Asaku sustains your torment because a corpse yields no nutrition. If you suffer from an unnameable autoimmune condition, Your biology is hosting a conscious parasite. The text recommends sealing birthing chambers with 7 layers of defensive cloth for 40 days. Implement strict environmental quarantine protocols during familial medical crises to prevent opportunistic parasitic attachments. Suppose your entire civilization is being steered toward a collective collapse by design.